Hi, I'm sorry for the accent, I'm French. So, we are about to talk about the COVID-19 and how we can make it work some ventilator. So, basically, we have discovered that many countries will have a need of a ventilator, and for various reasons, majority of what's happening on the web right now, which is how we can mechanize and make it automatic Humvee bags, will not work because basically what's happening is you need some parameters to be sure that your ventilator will actually work. So we summarize it on our own GitHub, which is here. Right now it's in French. We will translate it quickly. But basically, the point is you need to have an invasive ventilator. That means that the COVID if you have two kind of mechanical ventilation. You can be invasive and non-invasive. Non-invasive is when you have a mask. It basically be not so efficient, and the problem with that is it aerosol all the virus everywhere in the room. So that means that all the people in the room are infected, which is not likely something we want to do. And what we want to do is have an invasive ventilator, which means that you put something in the trachea of the guy, you inflate something, and from there everything going in the people will be managed by the ventilator. What's important there is it's an open circuit. So that means that the ventilator will grab the air from the room and put the air on the room after a filter. Managing a closed circuit is way more complicated because you have to manage the level of CO2, you have to manage gas exchange and stuff like that. So basically, it's an open circuit, and what you need to do is to have what we call a pressure. So basically, when you inflate people, you have this graph, and this graph means that you put a lot of pressure in the lungs of people, then you stop. So this is called pression de crête in French, which is peak pressure, if you want, and plateau, which is stable pressure, if you want. So you inspire, and then you have the stable pressure of what's in the lung. It's important than the pressure on the stable pressure, so that we do here will not exceed 30 millimeter of mercury, because in other case it will break the patient lung. Then the pressure drop. But in the case of COVID-19, you cannot have a negative pressure because the lungs are infected and there is secretion and everything. So you cannot deflate entirely the lungs because it will collapse and be sticky and everything. So it will be complicated to reinflate again. You will be likely to put a lot of pressure inside it. So that's not what you want to do. So that's why you need to keep pressure. We call this positive expiration pressure. And basically, what it's called is you need to have the ability to have between 5 and 15 millimeter of HDO of pressure in positive. So basically, the frequency of the people respiration have to be between 15 and 35. An inspiration time is likely the half of the expiration time in your calculation, and you need to also be able to put some O2 inside it because some patients need to have more O2 on the more oxygen than there is on the air. Basically, what we have designed is what we call a pressure controlled device. You have two kind of device. There is a volume control device, which know precisely how many air, the volume of the air you put in the patient lungs in each cycle. And the other is a pressure-oriented device, which is the pressure which is oriented. The choice we made because we have no idea of the design of how to do the volume oriented stuff. So basically, the device we will produce have a display, and the display say what is the pressure, peak, stable, and expiration pressure. And you can, as a practitioner, you can have three parameters: the pressure of the expiration positive pressure, the volume, so what you put in the lung of the patient, and the frequency. And basically, this is the three parameters we made. So how we made this? Basically, here is a point. So you have a brawler. So at the beginning, we need a pressure. So this is a brawler. It puts air with pressure inside the system. So it's basically like in your car, the turbo in your car, and it push pressure to the air. We use a drone engine there to be able to design it. And then we push to something we call the transistor, but for the air, which is the ability with the clapet to manage to push the air on the side and then decide how many of the air will pass or not pass, and be able to manage pressure on the system from there. So basically the blower pushes the pressure, and if you open all the gates, it goes to the lungs, and as it's a clapet, you can have a variable pressure here. And after, if the patient is after you have a pause, so you just drawing the air from the blower to the ambient air. And on the ambient air, we do that because we don't want to change the power on the blower, because basically it's an engine like to be stable, like road. And if we put variation on the engine, we will most likely kill the engine at some point. Then we open to the ambient air the ability for the lung to decompress. But as we can push a little bit, there our capture of pressure, which is after the lung gauge, will be able to give a little bit of pressure, but not too much to be able to not totally deflate the lung. So there is how we can define as the plan. Everything is on the GitHub, and every STD and everything is there. So right now we are working on the stuff. So we printed a lot of stuff. We don't have a full device ready yet. So we don't have tried it yet. We are rushing to be able to try the first device, but the first printing are going out of the bath right now. What will happen now is we will focus on delivering a first device, test it on a real medical test of how we can be sure that the pressure and what we do is exactly what it's designed for, and then we will say go rush it. We are not sure about everything on the design. We don't say we are the best on this, and there is a lot of things to improve. So basically everything is on the GitHub. We will most likely take a lot of improvement and feedbacks. We're sorry because majority of the documentation is in French because it was so complicated and we were so out of our league already that we decided to work on our mother language because we know how to speak on computer science in English, but we're not sure on medical care. So we decided to switch on French, but we will work with a team on translation to be sure that the documentation will be available in English all the time. So thank you very much for watching, and ping me if you need it.